Hello and welcome to the John Ark Show. Today's episode is called Wall Street Level Psychics Now Being Hired to Help People Make Career and Business Decisions. Before we begin, I want to encourage you to subscribe to our channel for free. You can also like, comment, and follow us. We're going to have a lot of great celebrity interviews coming up, so make sure to click on that notification bell so you can be notified every time we upload a new episode. Also, we ask that you post a link to today's show on all your social media to help spread the word and promote the show so that others can benefit as well. Now, let's get started. Before we begin, I want everyone watching to understand that these videos are for recreational purposes. We're talking about the psychic consultancy videos. We do not give financial advice, and you should take everything a psychic tells you with a healthy dose of skepticism. Do not invest your money or your life savings based on something a psychic tells you. In the last few weeks, we've seen some pretty bad downturns, bank collapses, and other financial problems in the economy. Large companies are now laying people off by the thousands. And guess what many experts believe? They think the layoffs will continue to increase. We just had one of the largest banks in the country, in fact, the 16th largest bank, go broke and call the police on depositors who showed up at their Manhattan location to try and get their money out. Imagine that. You put your money in the bank, you try to get it out, the bank calls the police on you. Horrific. Here's the interesting thing. A lot of Wall Street startups and other companies did business with this bank, and now their money is gone as well. Goodbye. Hasta la vista. And here's another thing. Billionaire Peter Thiel somehow knew about this and was warning people about it. And many experts expect this financial collapse contagion to spread out further into other banks and institutions. That means that it's likely going to get much worse. And if it does, then you can expect many more layoffs and bankruptcies. This kind of contagion can increase the amount of fear and panic out there dramatically. And what's really concerning is that the government doesn't appear to be taking it very seriously. So what does that mean? It means that people are getting desperate and taking matters into their own hands and doing things they wouldn't ordinarily do. So let me tell you something else. Everybody's saying, well, the FDIC will cover it. Well, let me give you some really bad news. If you had 20 million bucks in that bank and you tried to get your money from the FDIC, you're only getting $250,000 of that money back. By the way, if you had an account with this bank, which involved other financial instruments, other debt, other equities tied to this account, none of that is covered by the FDIC. Only cash. Just imagine that. These companies that had their money there, they need to make payroll next week or the week after. No money, no payroll. That means those people are not getting paid. So what does all this mean? It means a lot of these people are now going to be hiring psychics. Why would people do that? Because it's clear to many of the banks, companies, organizations, and individuals out there who are now losing tons of money that their bad decision making in the past has now led them to these catastrophic problems. What they did in the past has been catastrophic. So they've decided to pursue other avenues of information, of data, and of consultancy. That means people and companies are now hiring psychics to give them some advice on financial and career and business matters. I know that sounds unusual, but keep this in mind. All the experts in the past who gave this bank their expertise, their advice, all that led to these people losing all their money, almost all their money. That means these people and these companies who are getting their advice from psychics are now focusing on their business problems. People are scared how much further the real estate market will collapse. They're scared about how much inflation will erode their wealth. They're scared about being laid off by their bosses. They're scared to death of investing in anything. They're terrified of their banks, and they're praying that their banks won't be the next one to close their doors and seize their money. Any individual or bank or company that still thinks they're going to be okay is now demonstrating terrible judgment when they decide to do nothing or they decide to delay to see what happens. If you watch the video of these bank account holders at the Manhattan branch of this bank, when they're told the bank's closed and they're not going to get their money, if you look closely at their faces, they not only don't believe or understand what they've just been told, but given the smiles that some of them have on their face, it's as though they're in a state of delusion or disbelief. Even when the bank called the police to force them out, the account holders still had laughter on their faces because they just couldn't believe. It was like nervous laughter. They just couldn't believe that their money is gone. They probably thought they would just go to another bank branch and get their money there. But guess what? Most of the other banks have known about this problem for a while, and they know where this nightmare leads. You may see high information people know that this seizing of bank accounts can only happen so many times before it leads to something far more catastrophic. Think 1929, think the recent crypto crash. In fact, just this week's bank closure resulted in $70 billion more of Bitcoin value vaporizing. Where else are these problems manifesting? Well, think Venezuela today. Venezuela has no electricity much of the time. Their currency is in deep trouble. People line up at the grocery store to purchase food today, early this morning, because they're concerned that the food prices may go up again tomorrow. And do you know what they've been doing for a while in Venezuela now? People there have been going to psychics for financial and business advice, and guess what? The people who were advised by their psychics tend to be in better financial shape for the last year or two than the people who did not. I'll tell you something else in Venezuela. They don't trust the news anymore. They don't trust the government. They don't trust most businesses. They don't trust the banks. They don't even trust the religious organizations over there. But do you know what they do trust? A lot of them trust the information that their psychics are giving them about the business and financial decisions they should be making. And what did they do when they took that advice? They got their money out of the banks, converted it to gold, silver, and Bitcoin. So you're not sure if you should continue living in Venezuela? Well, then consult with your psychic. Don't know if there will be financial riots next week in Venezuela? Consult your psychic. You don't hear much about this because most governments and media networks want you to believe them or what they tell you rather than what the news organizations and the government is telling you. The same thing has happened in other poor countries for a while, and guess what? Now people are doing it in the US. Stay tuned. We're going to tell you more in the future episodes of this series about what's really going on. So stay tuned because what's really going on at the highest levels of Wall Street, Silicon Valley, Washington, D.C., and Hollywood is going to stun people far more than what they just saw happen to this bank. Thank you for watching. I want to encourage you to subscribe to our channel for free. You can like, comment, and follow us. We're going to have a lot of great celebrity interviews coming up, so make sure to click on the notification bell so you can be notified every time we upload a new episode. Also, we ask that you post a link to today's episode on all your social media to help spread the word and let other people know about the information. We'll see you soon.